Hi, Pete.
So, everybody, welcome to this week. This is our collagen series, and tonight we're talking about more hair, skin, nails, and how collagen can support us there. We've got the most amazing brain in the room, Zosha Piotrowski. Welcome aboard.
You're too nice. I'm not sure if my brain is that fantastic. I think I'm just very good at reading about stuff.
Collagen will help you, my dear.
Soaking things in, that's about it. I was chatting to a friend of mine who's doing an incredible PhD at the moment on photosensitivity and Alzheimer's. And I said to her, oh my goodness, you're so clever. She said, no. She said, I'm honestly the most daftest person in the lab. There are people studying the most incredible things. And I think we've been learning, Pete, and Pete has sort of put me onto this great professor, who is, heading up the biology of anti-aging at Harvard University. And it's been, listening to his podcast, which I really recommend all of you to do so, because I'm learning just like we're all learning together. Exactly. And I think it's fascinating to hear what is happening in science, and in particular when it comes to anti-aging and when it comes to aging as such. And, I think today's topic of hair, skin and nails is extremely important because we all want to look good. We all, want our skin to look fantastic. And, the skin is often, Pete, you've said this before with all your work that you've done with eczema, is that...
I was worried what you were going to say just then, all the work that I've had done.
I won't tell them that, but I will tell people something that you've said, but I'm not going to say it yet. But I'm just saying, I'll talk about it a little bit later. No, but all the work that you've done with your eczema and all the research that you've done in that field, yes. and the skin is sort of a very good indication of the health of yourself, of one. And now with all the information that we have on the anti-aging and the science of it, actually the health of your skin tells you your age, your proper age, right? So you have your biological age and then you have your chronic age. So really, that is a very telltale sign. So, I think let's look at teenagers, for example, the rise in hormones, all of that business. And you can have, I've got two, one's almost a teen in my house, and they're pretty lucky actually. When I see some of the teens, they've got a few little pimples from the masks that they wear, but actually, I'm probably they haven't hit the full-blown puberty, but all that influx of hormones. And when you think about hormone response in the body, your kidneys and liver and your lymphatic system have a lot of work to do to move a lot of those hormones out through these times. So another time, when you think about when hormones have an influence on skin, so we can say teenagers, actually babies as well. Anyone who has had little babies will see that sometimes you expect these babies to have beautiful skin, and then actually they have a really hard time in the first couple of months dealing with mum's milk and maybe other sort of milk that comes in. So you have babies and have that sort of bad skin then. And then what other times do you think do we have problematic skin? Pete?
Hormonal time.
Yes, hormonal time. Yes, I mean, for females in particular, but also for men, right? I think when you think about skin, when would be like, let's say your time, Pete, when you had the eczema, what was that from? When was that? What time in your life was that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess it started really young when I was 16. And I thought it was linked to when I was living in Tokyo, just really quite busy lifestyle, polluted lifestyle. And then again, it came up, it really flared up when I was 42. And it was at a stage where I moved from the mountains up in Sapa, 10 years living in the mountains, and then moved to Hanoi. And I just put it down to just the pollution. But in fact, it was just my lifestyle. I was too busy running around. I had businesses in Sapa, businesses in Hanoi, on the beach in Hoi An, and a week in every place, and then a week overseas somewhere. So I thought it was the lifestyle. like living the lifestyle, but it wasn't. I was just burning the candle at too many ends. And
Yes.
like you said, Zosh, you can always see if somebody's healthy because the extremities, the hair, skin, nails is always what gets nutrition last. But if you've got great skin and great hair and great nails, it's because you're well taken care of. You're looking after yourself proactively. And I know for some people who are in big cities, we've got a couple of people here from Hanoi. The thing that people always complain about in Hanoi is the water and the air. And it's, same in Hong Kong. Yeah. You really see with people's hair. I've never lived in a place before where people complain so much about hair loss. And
it's so true, Pete. And I've actually noticed a lot. I've noticed myself, firstly, and I've noticed with a lot of my clients, because I have a lot of females who are going through menopause.
Yeah.
And menopause is a classic time. If we go back to sort of aging, it's a classic time of aging. It's a really, very big moment in time to say you're actually getting old. And when we say you're getting old, I really want us to change the frame of mind in how we think in as in the age of us. It's like you've got to go a lot deeper. It's not even in a cellular level. It's more of a DNA level. And, Pete, when you talk about having your eczema, if we can sort of go down even a little bit deeper, is to say, what happened through that time? So, when you were a teenager, there would have been some stress there as well.
Yeah.
And then you have oxidative stress, you have pollutants, you have external environments, you have internal stress. And so all of this plays havoc on actually the messages that are supposed to be made, or the information, probably information is a better thing to say, that then the DNA strands have the information to say, keep the color in your hair, or keep this amount of hair. Yes. And then what ends up happening is that these DNA messages, they sort of get messed up a little bit. So they either get confused or they get scratched out. It's a bit like, the analogy they use in the longevity book is that it's like a CD with a scratch on it. So there's a song that's supposed to be played all the way through, but you've got a scratch there, and that's actually stopping that song from going through. So you end up having this sort of very mixed message. And, with the science that's happening at the moment, it's fascinating to hear. One thing that gets me very excited is the fact that they can actually reverse you will still have pigment in your hair. So in years to come, gray hair could be a thing of the past. You might just fix that little scratch on the CD and say, hey, actually, we can still have pigment. I mean, how amazing. We just wouldn't have gray hair again. Imagine all the hairdressers.
It's such a fascinating, it's out of work. It's such a fascinating topic because I held this book up before. Then Zosh mentioned, this is Dr. David Sinclair, and it's quite a hefty read. It's quite a scientific read as well, but I find it fascinating. It's called Lifespan, and he has a podcast as well, which is exactly the same topic. Now, he wrote this book a little while ago, and the podcast is more up to date. And the podcast is called Lifespan. Dr. David Sinclair, we love him because he's Aussie and he's been living in, we'll claim himself. He's been living in, like Zosh said, in Boston, at Harvard University for like 23 years. But he says that aging is a disease. It's a disease that we can actually, I might just mute you for a sec, Crystal. If you want to jump in and say something, just unmute, yeah. It's okay. You're busy working away. And so he thinks that aging is a disease and that it's something that we can actually look after. So I thought that was such a fascinating way to look at aging, something I've never thought about before. So Zosh, let's keep going. It's such a great topic.
That's great. So it's okay. So we're on the topic of skin, and the one thing I do love that he talks about is the pinch test. So it sort of shows the age of your skin. So if you take your hand and ideally you sort of relax it somewhere, and then you pick it up and then you let it go. And so for a normal, like if I was Jaja, my daughter's skin, we just did this in the car as we were driving back from ballet. You know, I mean, you lift her skin and it literally pops back beautifully. Yeah. So there's just nothing.
I'm checking yours
There
deep.
is no, yeah. Whilst if you know, for most people from like 40 to 50 and 50 onwards, this epidermal layer starts to thin. So, you know, there's a number of implications here. So if you sort of pinch it and it takes longer than 2 to 3 seconds, you're starting to see that epidermal layer is very, very thin. And so it's starting to show signs of, if you can say, degradation, right? Where it's losing collagen, it's losing hydration. And I see this a lot when I work with bodies every day. You know, people come with all sorts of pain and level, and sometimes it can be mechanical, but generally speaking, you know, when somebody says to me, oh my gosh, I've really hurt my neck, or it's really tight, or it's this, the first thing I say to them, drink some water. That's it. Drink water, and then actually you need some minerals. So, you know, when was the last time you had a bunch of minerals? That's sort of the step thing. Now let's do that. Flood yourself with some water, hydrate yourself, and then let's see, you can probably push that pain out just by drinking it out, if that makes sense, with, you know, water and minerals. But, you know, Pete, exactly what you say, you know, I'm probably going to jump around from topic to topic, but you talk about, you know, pollutants and the water, the quality of water, not necessarily just what you're drinking, but actually what you're using. So what you're showering with and what is in that water and how is that affecting, you know, you look at the surface area of your skin, it's the largest surface area for you to absorb. So that's why skin is just the first thing we really need to focus on. An interesting thing that David Sinclair talks about as well is that you have, and I just have to, look at my notes so that I make sure I say the right thing. You have inside the skin, you have what they call senescence, cellular senescence. And so what these are is basically these sort of messages. Sorry, I've lost you all on my screen. These messages that then tell tell the skin or the body to do certain actions. So if you, for example, the classic thing is ultraviolet light, right? Such exposure to UV light then starts to stimulate these senescence cells, which then can tell other parts of the body and their cells to behave a certain way, hence when you get skin cancer. So this is so important for us to understand that not only the external health of the skin is what's going to change our overall health, as well as internal health.
It's so fascinating, like all the bodily systems just join together. And
all joined together.
We often forget that, don't we? We think, okay, I've got a pain here. And I know we're not talking about pain at the moment, but I was watching some guy I follow, he's called The Flow, and he does this flow kind of technique. And he said, if you've got pain in your neck, and Zosh, just when he said this, and I thought I'd better just talk about it, even though we're talking about skin nails, he talks about relaxing your hands. And I'd never, ever thought of that before. You know, you relax because we walk around clenched like this. And he said, if you've got sore neck, it's often that your wrists are tight, your forearms are tight, and that you haven't relaxed your hands for a while. And it was so powerful to just relax your hands, relax your arms, relax your elbows. And of course, he does martial arts. And so he's all about that kind of relaxed movement, that kind of thing. But it does, it really releases that. And so when I think of skin, I started with doTERRA because of skin, 5 years now. And at the time it was like, I've got eczema, I need to fix it. But I didn't want to just do a Band-Aid approach. I wanted to go deeper. And so what it was that I found out was really your skin is like an iceberg. 20% is what you see above the surface, and that's your skin. 80% is really what's going on inside your gut. And so everything is manifested from inside onto your skin. So it's really important. Like Zosh is saying, skin is the biggest organ in the body. Whatever you put on your skin will go within. Whatever you put on your skin. And so people put the most horrendous products on their skin and not even thinking about it. Perfumes, horrible, like it's poison that you're putting on your body.
Hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer.
How much alcohol? I just think about all the small children, with all that hand sanitizing and what exactly they've put on their hands. What have they been absorbed? Yeah. What sort of problems will they have in years to come from all this excessive sanitation? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it all works its way inside into the blood system, and there's no research that says, okay, you mix this chemical and that lotion and air conditioner inside your body. So people talk about allergies, but what I find is that it's really a lot of sensitivity inside people's bodies. Yes. Just overly sensitive. So it's so important to find really clean ingredients to begin with. But secondly, just cutting out toxins out of your lifestyle as much as possible.
And I'm seeing this a lot with clients, is that because I see a propensity from it, and it comes from personality type as well. So I see certain things. I mean, this is very far-fetched, right? But it's sort of a sensitive person will feel things a lot more. So they're more propensity to sensitivity in skin. They absorb things a lot more. So they absorb emotions a lot more. They absorb environmental things a lot more. And so sometimes you find that there's this sort of link with the person and their ability to be able to absorb and to move things out. And this is where, we often talk about exercise and the things that we do, how important that is to move this stuff out. And I think this is the beauty of some of the products from doTERRA, is that they really assist in that. So, something like, let's say, hair loss. So hair loss, for example, I mean, I think a lot of the time what's in the water are hormonal levels, stress. So classic thing is when a woman has a child, right? In Asian countries, particularly in Chinese culture, what they do is after you've had a baby, they keep you're supposed to, for 1 month, not shower, not go out of the house, and not stress, because having a baby is like one of the most stressful things you can do to a female's body. Yeah. Some women cope, some women don't cope. So that stressful nature, not only have your baby has just, whatever it's going to get, it's going to take everything out from your body. So, I was chatting to a client of mine the other day, and she said she'd had COVID when she was pregnant, and she was absolutely freaking out. But actually the protection of her baby was number one. So I said to her, your body probably protected your baby so well, you probably felt very sick. And probably when you had your baby, you probably felt like, now I've got absolutely nothing. So that month where you're supposed to just chill out, it's really said that you can put all the goodness back into the body and build the system back up. So then you can start to slowly go back to being, you're being mum, and then, but a lot of women don't do that. So what happens is we have the babies, we're basically desperate to get back to work. We're desperate to look exactly like we did before we had the babies. So we start to implement stress. And then the first thing we see with women is they lose these chunks here of their hair. They start to look quite bald. And that's a telltale sign that your body has basically said, you haven't put the goodness back in. I've been emptied and I haven't put it back in. So I think, something like what we've got at the moment is the collagen, that supplement at the moment. And it's got that incredible NMN, which off the top of my list, I haven't got the full expansion of that. But that is a very important molecule, because what it does is it stimulates NAD. I also can't give you the full scientific word of that, which is...
We don't want it. It's so big.
It's so big. But anyhow...
Too many letters and not enough Scrabble pieces.
Exactly. But what these components do is they basically start to clean out the scratches, right, on the CD that I was saying, the little mixed messages. Something like hyaluronic acid, which is also in that collagen, is also amazing in hydrating the cells. And so these sorts of things, I think, are so valuable, not just for women, but for also, like, you know, for example, when you had your eczema, in these stressful times, and also to just maintain these molecules at a level where they're keeping the body, and particularly not just the body, but these messages that we need from the DNA at optimal level.
So we know in doTERRA that we've got great products, like really, really great products. I was just in India last week, and I went to the India grand opening for doTERRA. And it was so exciting because we've been sourcing ingredients in India for 10 years, but now we can actually take those ingredients back to India. The exciting thing in India is there's no friction with natural products. They understand natural products very, very well. Sometimes when exactly, it's in their DNA.
Amazing.
When we go out and talk to Western cultures, it's sometimes more challenging to break through that allopathic mindset and start talking more about natural remedies. I know we're more of the choir here, and we know all about our beautiful doTERRA products. But when Zosh and I kind of envisaged and conceptualized this month, we really wanted to talk about the amazing quality of this collagen. And just so people understood, and this is not about selling a product. It never is in doTERRA. It's just about providing information and people making up their own minds. But this collagen is pretty unbelievable. Now, Zosh, do you want to just talk about the difference between, and I'll run and grab the box. I should have got it earlier, but it's in my kitchen. I'll run and grab it. But just the difference between normal collagen that's on the market and our collagen. And this is a little bit of our collagen's better than your collagen kind of conversation. But in this situation, it is. It really, really is. It's a very solid ingredient stack. So I'm going to run and grab it, and I'll be back.
I think the interesting thing about collagen, the similarity of collagen, I can equate to a little bit like omega oils, yeah, your fish oils. And if I was to say to you, where is your fish oil? Let's say you weren't using doTERRA or a sort of nutritional grade omega-3, if I said to you, where is the fish from? And then what does that fish eat? And then, you know, what are the waters? What are all of that business? It's very similar with the collagen. So like omega-3s, it's extremely important to know where is that fish from, and because otherwise you're putting contaminant in. So with doTERRA, the collagen has been sourced very, very much so sustainably sourced. And I think so interesting is that with the collagen that they provide, it's the level of absorbency. You've got 7, I think that's correct, right? 7 different types of collagen.
9 actually.
So 9.
Yeah, even more.
And so these various types of collagen, there's all different types of collagen that actually is specific, not just for skin, but that actually work for eyesight, that work for other fats that are regular sort of things in the body that need different types of collagen for sort of like the oil in the system to work effectively. And so this, I think, is extremely unique. Pete, can you just read out some of the other ingredients in that collagen, please?
Yeah, let's see if my glasses will not work. And collagen, you know, I have been saying that it's actually been fixing my eyesight, but my lighting is really bad in here. Let me try to bring it up on the screen for you. It'll be so.
That'd be great. That'd be great. And so I'm interested, you know, because I had previous to this collagen, I had been taking a collagen. And why did I take the collagen? I sort of want to explain that to you, right? So I started taking collagen because I see osteopaths quite regularly, and anyone who sort of works with osteopaths, they are. People often say to me, "What do they do?" You know, they're very much the health of the body, so they can through feel. They understand how organs are talking to the muscular system, to the cardiovascular system, to the skeletal system. And so a long time ago, my friend said to me, I really think, she said, your bones are strong, but I don't feel like the ends of them are strong. They don't, that feels a bit rubbery. She said, you probably should start taking collagen. And I said, really? So that started me investigating. And I noticed a massive difference years and years ago with the collagen, but it was quite tricky to take, and I didn't like the taste of it. And I did notice when I took it years and years ago that my nails were so much better. And, you know, when you're younger, I can look at my daughter's nails and my son's nails, and they just grow. You know, they've got these giant long nails. Hair grows, all of this business goes very quickly, of course, when you're young. And then as you start to age, then you'll start to see that, you know, sometimes maybe the nails aren't as fantastic. And so is that just collagen, or is it also all health? Well, of course it's all health, yes. So you're looking at, not only just, all the food that you eat, but particularly minerals and vitamins that are extremely important. Things like selenium, zinc are super vital. So we often say, the collagen, I think if you've never taken collagen before and you start to take it, you will start to notice very significantly these changes. You would probably start to feel that the bones are starting to get a lot stronger. And this, I think, is extremely important, particularly for women who are going through menopause. But even before that, you need to put, call it the bone bank. You need to put money in the bone bank, and you need to do it earlier. And if you're thinking about having children, then you need to get even more bone into that bank, because once you have children, they're like little leeches. If you breastfeed them, they'll leach it out of you. And you won't notice till years later. And then when you hit 50, you hit the menopause, or if it happens earlier, which is happening with a lot of people, a lot of women, is you'll realize actually you're left with a bit of a shell and there's nothing left. So you've got to get in there. You've got to start adding much more nutrients than just your regular whatever you're eating. And I think calcium and collagen are difficult. If you're very good at drinking bone broths and all of that jazz, fabulous. There's collagen in that, wonderful. But there's only so many bone broths you can have.
Hey, Zosh, I know that Dee has the ingredient list in front of her. So Dee,
great.
Can you just read through that list? And
okay, so this part, right? The ingredients.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything that stands out that you think that we should know about?
So the formula, of course, the marine collagen includes 9 types of collagen, tripeptides from sustainable marine sources, strengthens the skin, joints, connective tissues, supportive of mobility and elasticity. And NMN plus NADH5 may increase NAD plus in the body according to the preclinical studies. And resveratrol.
Yes, brilliant.
And liposomal vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, rose apple extract, and of course the MetaPower metabolic blend.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. You've heightened my, I just remembered. So something like resveratrol is a fantastic, we often talk about a fantastic booster of immune as such, right? And so, when you think about resveratrol, often the first thing that comes into a lot of people's mind is red wine. And the studies on red wine are actually, very positive, except you've got the alcohol effects. You probably need a lot of the wine to give you the benefits of resveratrol. I think they've done studies around the world of the best diet. I had to use the word diet, but it's like sort of food plan all around the world. And the 2 places that you'll find have great life expectancy and anti-aging in their sort of diet is the Mediterranean diet. So if you look at the Mediterranean diet, it's a lot of the olive oil. They have a lot of, things like they do drink red wine, Yeah, lots of red wine. They're very vegetable based and also very low in red meat. So they'll have fish, that sort of. So again, you're looking at, olive oil, all those oils, all those omegas. So it's getting your mind thinking that these sort of oily things, but good oily things, clean food is very important. And resveratrol, now you'll see there's a lot of skin brands that use the resveratrol topically, but we know that the dermis layers, there's quite a few layers. So a lot of the time when you put a lot of these products on your face, it's got to be really high potency for it to work effectively. Yeah. And so, I love, one of my favorite things is going into the cosmetic section of any sort of shop. I just love it. I love Sephora, and I spend hours in there just observing every single ingredient and looking at every single ingredient. A lot of these expensive, I'm not going to say because I don't want to upset anybody, but there's some really expensive. There's this one skincare at the moment that I'm, fascinated by, just the marketing of it, and fascinated by why it's so popular. And it's got a name, Dr. Blah Blah. And, when you actually look at the ingredients, most of it's water. And then when you go a little bit further, it's essential oils. She uses essential oils in these combinations. So, sorry, I diverted a little bit. But, a lot of this, if you use a high percentage of something, so let's say what Dee just told us was also I never can pronounce this properly. Hyaluronic, there you go, hyaluronic acid. The research on hyaluronic acid is brilliant. So I would personally, if I really wanted to get this youthful skin, I'd be eating it and I'd be putting it on my face as well. And you want to get a pretty high percentage of it. However, you need an oil base with it to absorb it effectively. So let me tell you a little secret that I've been using recently. And have a little investigation of the degree of again, I've said the wrong thing, hyaluronic acid, the degree of percentage of the acid. So, some of them are crazy prices. You think, oh my gosh, I have to, put out a mortgage to buy this skincare. You can buy very, very reasonably priced. So I bought a very reasonably priced one. The brand is called The Ordinary. It's fantastic. But I mix it with our frankincense, and I mix it with our fractionated coconut oil, and I use that as a base, right? That's the base. And now with our wonderful collagen that we've got, it's got that acid in there as well. So you're also absorbing it this way. So you've got these two very good anti-aging. When I say anti-aging, think of it more so as it's not stopping the clock. What it's doing is going down even further than a cellular level. It's telling the system of the body to keep the messages the way they should be, so that we're not aging or degenerating the DNA.
Zosh, I'm sitting here still pinching my hand because I used to do that before. I've been taking collagen. I started a little bit earlier because I had a bit of a trial run in Colorado when I was there. And I can remember I'd pinch my hand and the skin would actually, I'm 52, I'm getting there. The skin would actually stay a little bit longer. So I'm noticing now that it doesn't do that. And I've been taking collagen for quite some time now, this collagen. The things that I've been finding myself, if we can just talk a little bit about the benefits of this product, is extreme what I'm feeling. Within 2 or 3 days, I felt laser focus. And that hasn't stopped. That's been from like middle of September right through. So this really solid laser focus. I tend to be a very focused person anyway, but this was being able to really hold a conversation, cognition, like really, really strong cognition, no brain fog whatsoever.
I think that's been my big takeaway too. I've sort of been on for 2 weeks. I've had to half my dosage
Mm.
because I found the full dosage really has upset my stomach,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
caused a lot of tummy. I'm very sensitive stomach anyway, right? So whatever I have, I can't have a lot of. I don't eat a lot of food. I don't drink a lot of whatever it is. I'm basically, my family calls me the bird. So I got so excited. I was like, fabulous. I'm going to have one big one. So, and my stomach just said, what are you doing?
So Josh, when you halve it, do you halve it during the day, or do you just have half for one day?
I just do half for one day. I've tried quite a few different things.
Yeah.
And it's also quite an interesting, I'm still playing around with it.
Yeah.
And then I was doing a little bit and then a day off and a little bit and a day off, just to give my digestive system a bit of a break, because it really was, to me, it was like a colonic and very upset tummy. But, I think also that depends on, my stomach is my weak spot as well, right? So I think, there's so many other layers of it as well. But I basically, because I didn't also want it to affect with anything that I ate.
Yeah.
And this is another thing that we sort of haven't talked about. And in part of that collagen is also the vitamin C. Ingesting vitamin C is so fantastic. I mean, you've basically got this incredible product, I think, that is so pure in its sense. And you've got components in there that you'll be stretched to find those at such a pure level. So, your NMN and your NADH plus, these are molecules that you can go and buy them separately, but you don't really know where they come from. So
No.
I would put my cost in a company that's actually invested a lot of time and effort to understand what's important in this component. It's very unique.
Hey, Zosh, I can see Tahira's hand up. Tahira, I know that you're on the back of a motorbike, so be
Yeah, I'm on the back of the motorbike, so please excuse the noise. I'm
Brilliant.
so happy I jumped into this call. So
Thank
I
you.
just said I had to schedule at least, even if I get the tail end. So thank you so much for all the information, Zosh. I am super excited about trying the MetaPower for my next month, because I've just placed my order within this month. And my question for you and Pete are, with me using the LLV and the MetaPower, would you advise going on like a diet similar to what we did when we did the cleanse, just to support our gut and our health so that the MetaPower can digest a little bit better? So if you can please give a little bit about that, that would be awesome. Thank you.
I think this is a fantastic question, because what is quite interesting with the MetaPower, talking about like the berberine, is that correct, Pete?
Oh, so I guess what Tahira is saying is, what is, do you use both together? Do we treat it like a cleanse? I think what is really important to talk about is that the difference between lifelong vitality and collagen. So lifelong vitality, all about your micronutrients. It's putting all that goodness, that nutrition back into your system. Exactly.
Yeah? So think of that like almost like the first level of your optimal nutrition. Yeah. So you have that, but you've got to supplement it with good food. And the simplest things, I basically today I just put a client on just a 3-day cleanse. She's overstressed. She's got pain, not everywhere, but it's just, I know her liver and kidneys are not very happy. So just for 3 days, she's basically not going to eat very much. Yeah, she's pretty much going to fast. I'm putting her on a full fast, and she's not going to die. It's going to take a couple of weeks before she dies. So she's going to be okay without a bit of food, because her digestive system needs a bit of a break. Not that she eats a lot. She doesn't eat a lot. She's got a lot of sugar because she's on adrenaline all the time. So she's reached out. So that's for the 3 days, we're basically just going to move out the food, just anything hard that's to digest. She's just going to have some very, very light vegetable soup. That's about it. She's going to have the collagen. She's going to have the LLV. That's it. Done. Yeah. And she's probably going to be quite tired, but that's a very That's a very small, I'm not going to put her on, only because I know her very, very well, but I can. But when you say, how do I supplement the food? I would just think, start by taking out the biggies. The biggies are the things that, the biggest irritants. And so the things that affect your immune system, the things that affect your whole system. So that would be the sugar, number one. And that can also include fruit. Yeah. So a lot of the time when people say, I'm going to go on a fast or whatever, I'm just going to drink juice. Well, why would you want to drink juice? I mean, juice is full of sugar. Why are you adding sugar? Sugar is what's going to generate the cells and is going to muck up those DNA messages. So take the sugar out. Do yourself a favor. And anything that looks like sugar. So anything that's, I'm not talking, anything that from a molecular point of view looks like sugar. So, you know, your simple carbohydrates, your rice, your pasta, move that out. Move that stuff out. Give your digestive system a chance. And so think about, you know, you might not need to have such a drastic measure. You might, depends on where you are. Everybody is so different. But what Pete is saying is correct. It's macro micronutrients that, number one, need to come into your body, but they need to come from a source that is readily absorbable. And this is why these supplements are fantastic, is they come from a food source.
I've just followed on a little bit and put some notes there in the chat. And I've just said there that the micronutrients and macronutrients, so if the nutrients aren't present in the body, then the cell cannot function properly. So you've got to feed the cell, that nutrition. That's like the foundation first. So when we talk about, is it lifelong vitality or collagen, they do very different things. So the micronutrients is your lifelong vitality, your Terrazyme, your PB Assist, that probiotic that we love. The macronutrients is that one there. That's the collagen box there. So that's 1 month supply in the box. So this is about working and utilizing your proteins, your fats, and your carbohydrates in your body. This is what the collagen is focused on here. So that's why it's not one or the other. It's really both. So if I open this one up, it's a brand new box. If I open it up here, I love the box because it's exactly my brand. It's definitely on brand for me. So this is the little sachets inside. And you can see there's a whole month in there, all packed up inside. Very simple to just grab and go. So you can just grab one, you rip the top off here, and you pour it into your glass. Now, guys, there's no emulsifiers in here. And a reason for that is because emulsifiers are fillers, and they just fill the product. doTERRA don't want that. And so what you need to do is you need to either shake it up or you need to froth it up with a little frother. And you'll also find that there's little green flecks inside here. And I put a message up in our chat here. So the little green flecks are the chlorophyll, and that stabilizes the plant fats inside here when it's taken up inside your intestines. So interesting. Like, this really amazing science in here. And so the reason doTERRA don't do collagen in water is because they don't want to ship water around the world. This is much lighter. There's less carbon footprint. There's no reason to send water all around the world. And so these are hydrolyzed, which means it's been partly digested. And that's super important because when you swallow this, it actually doesn't get absorbed into your stomach enzymes. It gets absorbed into your blood system, and then it goes into other parts of your body. So there's many, many, many collagens on the market. It's a bit of a buzzword, but it's really important to do your research. And for me, it's always about the quality of the ingredient all the time. It's the source of the ingredient. It's the quality of the ingredient. And that's why I think we can always trust in doTERRA, just because, like Zosh said, they do the research. They've got the money to begin with. They've got the heart to do it as well. And they won't bend on the pursuit of the purity. It's always about that. And so if we just go through the features again, 9 types of different collagens, 4 types of marine fish. Most collagen comes from pig skin or cow skin. And sometimes that's hard for your body to digest. So this is from 4 types of fish. And maybe, Zosh, you've been taking this for 2 weeks. So can you talk us through some of the other feelings that you've got so far, some of the other benefits that you're feeling?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me has been, it's funny because when was it? Yes, because tomorrow's Friday, right? So 2 Fridays ago, it's like something. So actually, I've been taking it longer. Sorry, I've been taking it for 3 weeks. I think because I've been doing a little bit of periodizing this week, just to go off and on to give my system a little bit of a break. And but it's definitely stabilizing a lot more. But definitely the big thing I noticed was the brain, like literally the fogginess. And I've got a lot happening at the moment in my world, and I think it's a little bit like somebody took. I feel like I've been looking. It's going to sound ridiculous, but like my whole year, I feel like I've been looking through foggy glasses, and that's also my eyesight as well, right? Like I always make a joke about eyesight, and I actually did go and get my eyes checked, and
Hallelujah.
the optometrist lady got funny at me because I was leaning forward to try and, get the letters right. And she said, put your head back. It's not a competition. Just want to get it right, I said to her. There's no such thing as getting it right. It's whether you need glasses or not. And so anyway, but I did say to her that she wanted to look at my phone, and I said, I feel like at times it's not that I can't read, it's just that I feel like there's a film over my eyes. And I think what I've noticed recently is that that film's gone, particularly in the morning. So sometimes when I wake up in the morning and I go to read something, I feel like I want to rub my eyes. I feel like it's like I want to clear my eyes. And that's been the big thing. So the brain, the clarity in my brain is starting to come back.
Yeah.
Because I thought there were times in the last 3 months, and I think that I thought to myself, maybe I've got early onset Alzheimer's. Just mind very scattered. And so I feel like when you said you had laser focus, that's the thing I really noticed. Yeah. I feel like I'm much more, it's not proactive, that's the wrong word to use. It's just, I'm getting through my to-do lists a lot more effectively. I'm remembering things. Whilst before it was like, I couldn't quite believe that I would have forgotten something like that.
It's so interesting because I was taking bulletproof collagen for a long time, and it's probably the cleanest one that I could find, and I would import it in from the States. So when I started, I did a lot of research on this product starting back in probably about May, and I expected it to be a good product because it's doTERRA, but I had no idea that it was going to be like this. And I guess the biggest thing I found is energy, a lot of energy. And I push a lot during the day. Like I've got big days. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I tend to, because my team is scattered all around the world, I tend to work on the US time zone a lot. And so I just found that it's a very sustained energy. It's not like an external energy source like coffee or an energy drink or something sugar. It's very sustained because it's teaching your cells how to produce their own energy. So Lois, I'm just reading your question. Would this product help with some of the side effects of chemo treatments? Gosh, are you in a position where you can talk about this?
Yeah, I think, it's quite interesting. I've just obtained a client in the last month, and she had a year ago, she had 27 of her lymph nodes taken out in the pelvic area.
Wow.
And
I've had some taken out.
Yeah. So that was a year ago. And because she had that cancer, they said that possibly and this is so fascinating now when I've understood a little bit more about anti-aging and longevity and the gene messages. And unfortunately, the doctor had said, because you've had this cancer in the pelvic area, probably the messages are still there. And then these messages you might find, she asked her doctor, do you think I will get cancer again? The doctor said, I'm really not in a position to say that because I don't want to say that to you. And then she's just had breast cancer. They just found breast cancer in June. And so she's just.
Sorry, Josh, she just dropped out.
If I just freeze for a little bit. Sorry. And so and so in June, they just found out she had breast cancer, and she's just had a double mastectomy. And so this is the first thing I really want to put her on, because I think the chemotherapy, if you think about what chemotherapy does, it does an excellent job of killing every single cell in your body. Yeah. And it's, yes, it's needed, because you want to nuke. But I think what's so important is you've got to get those messages, those DNA messages, to be functioning again. The CD, we want to unscratch the CD as quickly as possible. And so this is where, I really think you get the LLV, and I think the collagen is extremely, extremely important, because I think yes, the collagen is great, but I think in there, the MNN and those NADH, they're the things that are actually going to help for this cell renewal. And that's what you want. You want a positive message from your genes to happen. I think this is so important. I think even something
I do frankincense and the cobaiba every day.
And turmeric, Lois.
Anything and everything.
And the turmeric is amazing, because actually what you're going to find is inside the turmeric is curcumin, and that curcumin is incredible as an anti-inflammatory. And this, again, when we sort of talk about inflammation, it comes down to, again, those messages. We've got to get down to cellular level. We've got to clear these messages, so that then you've got a new slate.
I am doing the DDR prime every day.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's a powerful cellular blend. I'm just thinking, anytime that you want to dive into the science of essential oils and white papers, PubMed, like PUBMED, PubMed, you can just search for PubMed cancer frankincense, PubMed cancer collagen, and you will get some incredible, so PUBMED, you'll get some incredible white papers that scientists and doctors write. And it's just for like the medical field. And they're just great to go through and read, like in your part-time. But you'll find, Lois, there's a lot of information there on like the cells and the molecules and tumors and how they work with collagen in the body. And like Zosh is saying, the chemo just eradicates the body of nutrition. So anything for you that's going to put the nutrition back into your body again, that give you quality of life at a cellular level is all good. So do some.
As I said before, sorry, Pete. I said before, I know I was talking about juices, and I'm not a fan of like fruit juices, but sort of the great thing about good juices, if it's come from like something like celery, right? Organic celery, organic vegetables, is that influx of vitamins, right? But you still need to drink a lot of it. Yeah, you need to eat a lot of it, and there's only so much you can break down, and that's why the supplementation is so important. And still, of course, everything that you eat and how you surround yourself, and lots of love and positive people, all of that, that all of that is so important. But I think exactly what Pete's saying is you just need to have at every level that that all the messages are already good.
Yeah, because I'm halfway through this treatment number 2 and round 2, and now the neuropathy is happening in my feet, and so I'm losing the feeling in the bottom of my feet, which is, to be honest, uncomfortable.
Yes,
it makes walking difficult.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering about the collagen. I'm doing foot sulks with traditional medicine, anything. I'm doing traditional clean diet. Anything and everything that I can do right now. But this is a new one, so I'm just wondering if that would help or add to what I'm doing.
Yes.
But just add to everything else that I'm doing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And that NMN, if you do a little bit more extra, and I can send you some stuff if you like, these are so important.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Really, really important.
Guys, can I just show you? I'm just going to share the screen so you can all see, so we can dig in and find some more information. I always think that the doTERRA website is such a wealth of information. So this is just doTERRA.com, and all I've done is go to shop and click on the MetaPower here. So there's a whole section here on MetaPower, and you can see the URL at the top is just doTERRA.com, and then here you can see I've just gone into the Advantage, which is our collagen product. So we call it MetaPower Advantage with collagen plus the NMN, which Zosh has been talking about. So jump in here for more reading. It talks about no GMMs, no dairy, no salt, no gluten, no preservatives. And then further down here, the benefits of this product. They've put a lot of work into this page here. There's a lot of really great information and links that you can dive in a bit deeper. It's always important to understand the ingredients in your products. And doTERRA lists everything on the label and everything you can pronounce, because it's all natural. It's not made in a factory or a plant. It's made by a plant. And so here, when we talk about marine collagen, this is quite rare. And so there's 28 different types of collagen. This product has 9 types of collagen. For example, most products on the market have 1 or 2 types of collagen on the market. So you'll see here, we've listed everything, the type of collagen it is and what it does in the body. So please jump in, have a look at that. I think it's really important to understand. Like here, collagen type 9. So it's important for different components of cartilage and ligament and joints inside the body. Who knew? Who knew? And so, let's expand our knowledge. Let's understand what we're putting inside our body here. Yeah. And so when we ask, will this be good for us? It can only be good for us because we're putting great, clean products into our body. We even go into the detail here talking about how the fish are cold water sourced, they're sustainably sourced in Italy. And so because we make this with tripeptides, it's about 12 times more absorbable than other products on the market because it's hydrolyzed and your body doesn't send it to the liver and the kidneys and waste it. Yeah, Zosh?
If you just scroll back up again,
yeah,
you can see the collagen type 15 there that inhibits the fibrillation. 25, sorry.
25.
I can't read.
Glasses.
my Roman numerals is off. Sorry.
Better?
Sorry, thank you for the correction. Fibrillation of amyloid beta peptide. So you know that amyloid beta peptide is really what we're looking at to wash out when you sleep at nighttime, right? And this is what's prevalent when they doing research on Alzheimer's. This is what they see, that this is not being removed. And this amyloid beta peptide is the real problem of being able to get that out. And so this is absolutely incredible, really, that it stops that from forming. So this is possibly why we're seeing improvements in the brain activity
Cognition.
And the lack of brain fog. Yeah. And so, people, you're talking about, how you take the collagen and all that business. I would play around with when you take it. I was taking it early in the the first thing in the morning. I found it a little bit too heavy on my stomach then. So actually now what I'm doing is before I go to bed, it's actually helping me sleep quite nicely.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because Tracy, I'll come into you in a second. Yeah, it'll uplift your energy because of different types of collagen, but it will also work on your nervous system to calm you and soothe you and relax you. So there's a lot of people who are talking about better quality sleep. Now we've got a couple of testimonial groups as well that you can jump into. I'm going to find the links and I'll put them into the chat. They're on Facebook if you're on Facebook, but they're great just to go on and read other people's testimonials. And I share them as well on Nourished by Pete quite often. So there's nothing like a bit of social proof. Tracy, are you there? Did you have a question?
Yes, I do. I'm not sure if you could see me. I can't see you because I'm already in class.
Oh, okay.
But it hasn't started yet. No, that's okay. I just wanted to know how do you have any clients that are vegan or don't eat or vegetarian that are taking these products?
Yeah, so this one is definitely, it's not a vegan or vegetarian product. And it's actually very hard to get collagen that is vegan, but we have the yarrow pom capsules, which actually help to stimulate the collagen growth in your skin. So if you are vegan, you can actually look at the yarrow pom capsules, which because of the yarrow and the punicic acid inside the pomegranate, they're fantastic for actually, and it's a product that is often overlooked in doTERRA. They're the yarrow pom capsules. They're incredible for skin, but not just skin. Again, all those connected bodily systems. But if you've got a vegan client or you are vegan or vegetarian, look at the yarrow pom capsules. They're definitely fantastic for the topic tonight, my hair, skin, nails. And they are vegan.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Pleasure. So I'm just looking for this link here, and I'll just put this link in for the MetaPower testimonial group. Zosh, you want to chat a little bit more? And I think I found the link, and we're nearly at the top of the hour, so we're nearly there.
I mean, I think we've sort of like hair. The other thing, you know, in addition, so I think people often ask is how long will it take for you to feel the results of this product? And I think it's so varying for person to person, right? So I think it's the consistency of usage. It's the consistency of the lifestyle that you're choosing to take as well. It's not going to be a miracle, you know, powder on its own. You have to, and I say this all the time, nothing is going to be the only elixir of life. Like, you're not going to take a powder and that's going to solve all your problems. You have to start to look at, okay, hopefully this will set you off on a good track. So, you know, I'm all for, and I did say that I was going to return back to this comment. I'm all for making you look as good as possible so that you actually feel good. I'm not into, you know, external application, plastic surgery, all that jazz. That's what you want to do. Fantastic. For me, it's like I don't want to teach my daughter that's the way I've got to look good. I will age gracefully, but I think what's important, Pete used to say, I remember Pete said to me one time, you would never live in your house for 50 years and not renovate. Okay, so that's wrong. When I've looked at myself sometimes in the morning and I've gone, oh my goodness, my bag's under my eyes. I should maybe just have a little surgery and they'll be perfect. Watch this space. Maybe in 10 years I will. But I actually, like what we said, is instead of thinking that you need to do external things, think about what you can do, what's in your control to make yourself look and feel better. Yeah, and it is an aesthetic thing. You know, I don't want to say it's only just about what's on the inside. It is, you know, we want to look good as well, right? But then you've got to be realistic. So what we have, you know, why do I have the bags under my eyes? The bags under my eyes because, you know, I didn't sleep for 6 months. I had this, I had X, Y, Z. So, you know, my liver is stressed because there's a lot of stress. So you start to go back and say, okay, so how can I support my liver? How can I do this? Go back to your body is a system. Your body works as a whole. And if you work internally and externally, I really do believe that you'll start to then feel good. And, you know, I mean, Lois, I just think you're amazing to have gone through what you're going through at the moment, because, you know, it's such a blow sometimes. Yeah. And when I was chatting to my client the other day, she said, it's just a bit unfair because I was not unhealthy. I didn't smoke. There's no breast cancer in my family. I didn't do this, I didn't do this, I didn't do this. I never drank lots of alcohol. And she said, I'm super positive about it, but there are moments where I just think, why? And I said, you know, that's so normal for you to think like that. The great thing is that now you have access to so much information. Science is so fast forward that actually we have within our reach the capacity to help ourselves be as physically and mentally strong as possible to beat whatever comes at us. And things will come at us, without a doubt.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. And so it's just, I sort of think of it like a little bit like Captain America. Yeah. Where it's just like with that fabulous shield. My son was obsessed with Captain America. Yeah. And it's literally just like, I've got lots of different shields. So I can see that's going to come. And maybe whilst I'm hitting this one, something will come in this way. But actually, I've got the tools to help combat and keep that in check.
So powerful.
Because I know
And
people saying earlier about relaxing the hands.
yeah.
So because I have lymphedema, I've been doing the
Yes.
qigong with the hands,
Beautiful.
and it
Yes.
helps a lot. Such
Yeah.
a simple exercise, but it's working.
Totally.
I have a wrist now.
Yes. And it's interesting
And
because I was explaining this to a client of mine today, and I was trying to explain to him that, the body, we work in this incredible netting, and it's like this spiral. I think of it like we're in these spirals. Yeah. So when you move the body, it's not in these planes, it's in like
It's movement.
rotational spiral where every part of your hand, your fingers, your movement, your breath is considered. And this is
Like Tai Chi. Yeah, Tai Chi is all about that.
Qigong and Tai Chi. Like it's so profound. And you look at a lot of Qigong masters, and they are, they're so strong and stable, and their ability to use the breath is profound, right? So, I think my view of movement has changed for many years, where I see a lot of high intensity exercises, unnecessary stress.
I don't need it.
Stress. Maybe at a certain period of your time, fantastic. But at this time, we're about rejuvenation. We're about making the cells talk to each other.
I need all the help I can get.
Don't we all? Don't we all? Here it is. So guys, let's wrap up this week. So tonight's topic was all about hair, skin, nails with collagen. Next week is the last in our series, and I've just put it into the chat there. So it's about keeping the brain healthy as we age. Really, really solid information that we have next week. So like I mentioned, this is not about selling a product. It's just about you understanding the product that you're taking, or just to consider it. And so if you are a member with doTERRA, it's in your back office. You can order that in certain markets around the world. If you want to know more, reach out to Zosh, reach out to me. Always happy to help. And lovely to see you all. We'll see you next week. Yeah. Zosh,
Good night.
Thank you, Zosh. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining tonight.
Bye-bye.
Bye.